What's crack-a-lack in your sport? Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. And we're going over linebackers. We're ranking the top linebackers in the 2020 NFL draft. I'm doing this Tuesday, so this is going up before the Senior Bowl workouts and the game. So a lot of this can change. I'm actually thinking about, but I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to bring out my updated rankings for each position group after probably first week of February. Somewhere around there. So I'll have that out to y'all soon in the future, as well as other content coming to the channel. You probably already noticed I'm doing a few of the off-season not predictions, but kind of like what I would do if I was the GM of a team. And doing that, I'm glad I'm not, because that is difficult. So those should be up. I won't be able to get to every team, but I'm gonna do as many as I can, or at least the more interesting cap situations and what not. But go ahead, leave this thumbs up, helps the video get discovered. Become a bro and subscribe. We're growing slowly but surely, and I do appreciate that. I just want y'all to know that, even though a lot of y'all may disagree with what I have to say, which is okay, it's my opinion. That's why we have the comment section for civil discourse, and I try to get to as many comments as I can, and I do appreciate the discourse we have, because it's not like I am, it's not like I'm an expert at this. Heck nah. What are my credentials? Not a lot. I played ball in high school. I tried to get into sports journalism like 10 years ago. Ended up dropping out because school's expensive. Heck, I was a referee for a year in the high school level. But I've been going over the draft for, I mean, if you want to include high school, like 15 years, but hardcore 10 years, you know, and I've took this serious. I even started a very unsuccessful blog back in like 2012 on this. So I like to think I've known a little bit, and I'm going to admit linebacker was kind of one of the more hard positions to kind of evaluate, because I was very, ignorant? I guess that's the word, ignorant to the position in general. But it's become a lot easier recently because the NFL, they're kind of valuing athletes and ability over, well, I guess it's called the old traditional, the thumpers and whatnot. So it's easier to evaluate guys based on, they're going to go with the guys with more athleticism. So it makes this position group a little easier to evaluate, at least for me. And you're going to notice that in this rankings, you're not going to, like I said, you're not going to agree with a lot of this, but hey, what the comment section is for. Let's discuss. There's going to be guys that I missed that you think should be on the list. There's going to be guys that you don't agree with where they're on the list. Let's discuss, but let's get into it. Honorable mention goes to Nate Landman out of Colorado. Average athlete. He's kind of a old, like I was talking about, that old school thumper in a 4-3 type of scheme. I don't think he's going to get drafted, but didn't make the list. Let's go over 21 through 30. We're going to start with Sean Bradley out of Temple, and this is kind of an asterisk because admittedly I haven't seen a lot on the guy. When I haven't really looked at much outside of Matt Hennessy out of Temple. I haven't really looked at much of Temple football this season, but everywhere I look, as far as what other scouts, analysts have to say about Bradley, it's been very positive. He looks like he should be a sure day 3 guy. I felt bad if I did include him on the list, so I put him here at 30, and he'll probably move up. But like I said, I haven't really got to a lot. I haven't really got to him in general. But continuing, I got Eli Mincer out of Albany, man. This is a small school prospect here. He did a lot as a pass rusher, but the guy's 6'1", 225. He won't be able to do that at the next level, but his athleticism intrigues me. On to TJ Brunson out of South Carolina. The guy has a ton of experience. Big reason why he's on this list. He's at the Senior Bowl, so we'll see more from him. But like I said, he's had almost over 2,500 snaps there at South Carolina, and that's really the sole reason he's on this list, hoping he's a fast learner given his experience. Joe Bacci out of Michigan State. I know this one's going to be kind of a hot take. He's limited as an athlete. That's a big reason why he's this low on the list. So, at me. Jordan Mack out of Virginia. And whenever I would look up stuff on Jordan Mack, a lot of the things I see is he's an injury red flag, which I kind of disagree with. He missed some time in 2018 because of a shoulder, but his only other injury from since then was he had a bum ankle before the Orange Bowl, so he couldn't play. So that doesn't worry me too much, but the big concern for me is he used to be a former defensive back, and you'd expect more athleticism from a guy that used to play cornerback, you know? But the guy has a good nose for finding the football, so I like the instincts. What was it? Kamal Martin out of Minnesota, another guy who's a limited athlete, but he has really good length, and he could be a good contributor in small increments, probably a special teams guy. Errol Thompson at Mississippi State was a guy I was a little higher on at the beginning of the year, but he's not as mobile as I thought he would be based on last year's tape. He's very scheme specific, and I really want him out or in space outside like the C gaps, you know. So your sole role would be in the box. Evan Weaver out of California, another kind of a hot take here because it's a guy a lot of people like, but another traditional old school linebacker. And for me, it's hard to see him be anything more than a special teamer, but I can promise the guy's got a great motor. They nickname him the Hammer there in Cal. So I can see this guy being a pretty dominant special teamer on the level of like a Matthew Slater or Drew Tranquill. And then we got Muhammad Berry out of Nebraska. Limited tape on the guy again, but from what I've seen in that, he's pretty adequate in coverage and he plays with a high motor. Gotta love that high motor, but again, limited experience, looks to be more of a developmental project at this point. And then Davion Taylor, I think that's how you say his name, might be even just Devin, but the guy, he played safety a majority of the time at Colorado, and you could tell he's kind of built like it. Athleticism suggests he will blow up screens, blow up plays in the flat. He's not really ideal though to play in the box or in run defense. On to 20 through 11, we're starting with Dante Olson, another small school guy out of Montana, tackling machine. I believe it might have been the NFLPA Bowl or the East Shrine Bowl. I can't remember. But you could see the dude had like 7 tackles and limited snaps there. He was everywhere on the field. Honestly, I hope he gets a combine invite because I'd like to see what he actually tests out as, you know what I'm saying? And then Jacob Phillips at LSU, a guy I was high on. I was projecting this guy constantly in the second or third round at the beginning of the season, but by comparison to Patrick Queen, who's going to be very high on this list, let me warn you, this guy looks like a developmental prospect. He's got a great motor, should be an instant contributor in special teams. Then David Woodward, another guy I was pretty high on at Utah State. Really wished he returned. I don't know why he came out early because this year it was kind of scarred by he had some injuries, and then he was a bit exposed because I thought one thing he was a sure tackler, but he had a tough time tackling in space this year. Another guy that's probably only a 4-3 scheme specific type of guy, but again, could be a solid contributor. Then Shaq Quarterman out of Miami, an old school linebacker, another probably only a 4-3 guy. He's not a sideline to sideline athlete, and by no means will he be a 3-down linebacker. Malik Harrison out of Ohio State, a guy that probably people think should be a lot higher. I don't know, I'm kind of indifferent. He's improved immensely in coverage, but he's also been kind of predicted in that Ohio State scheme. He'll be at the Senior Bowl, so that'll be huge for him to see what he does there. Excellent blitzer, and honestly, he could move up these rankings. Marcus Bailey out of Purdue, another high football IQ type of guy. He was a bit of menace in the middle, but I would avoid basically playing him in man-to-man situations just because of the limited athleticism. I think he'd be a huge liability outside of the number. He's really good on underneath routes, but I think he'd be a huge liability outside the numbers, which most linebackers are, you know what I'm saying? Then we got Marcel Spears Jr. out of Iowa State. This is probably a guy I'm going to be a lot higher on than most other people. I really like him as a prospect. When I was researching him, most things I've seen come up said by other analysts and such say he's undersized at 220 for his athleticism. You know, he's not as athletic as he should be, only weighing 220. And I kind of disagree with that. He can stick with tight ends, and he's shown some solid ball skills. He knows how to find the football, and I really like that. He's a tackling machine. He racked up, I think, over 180 tackles there at Iowa State in 2 seasons as a starter. What else we got on him? He's a solid blitzer, and pass blocking running backs. That's just not his vocabulary. You can't block this guy with a running back. So he's one of my favorite guys. I want to move him up a little bit more, but I don't think teams will be as high on him as probably I am. Then Charles Snowden out of Virginia, a guy I really wish came back as well. He's kind of a confusing guy to evaluate. Scary size there at 6'7", especially if you see him in the middle of the field. You're going to want to try to throw away from him, but with that size and with that range, or that length, it's going to be kind of hard. But his weight is 235, so he's limited as a pass rusher. Now, he was used all over the place right there at Virginia, right? He was used all over the field, which is good to see. But, and I said this earlier in one of my, I think it was one of my ranking videos, but it also means he's not really polished in any one area, but he looks like a project at this point with a very high upside. Kaliki Hudson out of Michigan, a project, another guy, a project at this point. See, the guys you see right, like, I want to say the guys you see here, kind of in the middle, they're projects, they're developmental prospects, but they have high upside. That's why they are up so high. So another guy, he's got an intriguing athleticism, and like I said, should be a high day 2 or day 3 target, limited by size a little bit, probably not gonna be great as a run defender, but like I said, he's a project. Then Justin, I'm gonna get that last name wrong, so I ain't gonna say it, at Wake Forest. By no means he's not a sideline to sideline athlete, but he's very rangy. He's got length, kind of like what I said with Snowden. And ideally, he's going to be a 4-3 type of guy, because when you got those guys that aren't those sideline to sideline athletes, you can kind of protect them in a 4-3 scheme. But, I mean, when you have that, you kind of hope they're better tacklers. But this guy, he really needs to get a little better wrapping up ball carriers, but like I said, he's got really good length to him, so that's why he's so high up this list. I think he, especially a 4-3 team, he could be really good. On to the top 10. Jordan Brooks out of Texas Tech. I was high on this guy early in the year, and he hasn't really fallen off much in my rankings. Great tackler. He's improved constantly in pass coverage, but again, another guy protected by the scheme. He wasn't asked to drop back a lot, and when it was, it's not like he was trying to keep up with slots or receivers, you know what I'm saying? Now, he's very good at coming downhill and just stuffing the run. He's really good in run defense. I like him a lot. Cam Brown out of Penn State. Cameron here, he's very fast, very athletic, needs to refine a little bit of his man coverage and his tackling. Again, kind of a developmental prospect, but he's probably one of the best or as far as athleticism, there's really only one other guy on this list that I think is a bit raw, but has all the athleticism and all the physical tools in the world. Cam Brown's one of those guys. I'll get to the other guy later. Got Logan Wilson out of Wyoming, another guy I'm really high on, and I'm scared he might fall. Well, I shouldn't say scared. Gives my team a chance to pick him up. But Dolphins fan, fins up, baby. But he's looking like he's probably going to be a late day 3. I really don't think that should be the case. He's improved every bit, especially in coverage. Not ideal to be used in man coverage, but you saw that from Devin Bush this past year. He was very good in zone, but he slowly developed to be a better man coverage guy over time. He wasn't initially. He's going to be a 3-down type of linebacker, which I really love. High motor. This guy, I feel like he's going to be underappreciated by a lot of teams. Francis Bernard, baby, out of Utah. Very good guy, but he's 25 years old, so we were probably seeing his peak, his ceiling when it comes into or when we're talking about his athleticism. I think this is where it's going to cap out. Very smart, makes good decisions, especially in coverage, which is a good thing because it makes up for his lack of athleticism or his limited athleticism. By no means is he not an athlete, you know what I'm saying? On to Willie Gay Jr. This is who I was talking about when I was talking about Cam Brown. This guy, he's going to blow up the combine. He's probably the fastest linebacker in this class. He missed 8 games this year, though, because of a violation for an academic tutor. Haven't looked too much into it, but I don't know. It doesn't sound too bad, you know? Kind of weird, but yeah, only played 5 games. Saw limited snaps even then. But you can't, like I said, can't deny this guy's athleticism. He should be able to crush the offseason process. And then my top 5, these guys, oh man, this is a good group right here, because I think it's a big drop off after these guys. Akeem Davis Gaither out of Appalachian State. I think this guy's he's gonna be flying under the radar, and I really like him. When we talk about Isaiah Simmons being kind of a tweener, that linebacker / safety hybrid, I think this guy, I think ADG is that and a little bit more. He's not. Sorry, babe was crying. I had to go dress that real quick. Wife's on it. ADG though, where were we at with this guy? This guy, he was good in coverage, but not just that. He was a very accomplished pass rusher there at Appalachian State. But the thing is, the guy's 6'2", 215. He's not going to be able to win as a pass rusher unless, you know, he puts on a little bit more weight. But I think as good as he was in coverage, he doesn't need to. He could be an off-ball linebacker. And his blitzing reps, he's got more pass rush and blitzing reps than Simmons. And I mean, this guy, he is today's new style of linebacker. I like him a ton. I think this guy's got a lot of promising potential. On to Troy Dye out of Oregon. And you're going to see with these guys 2 through 5, Queen, Murray, ADG, and then Dye, they're all going to kind of probably shuffle around this top 5 for me over the next few months, because I think they got that much potential. And they're all good prospects. I love Dye's athleticism. He's good in coverage, and on paper it looks like he's a good pressure, or at least when it comes to pressure in the passer. But if you look into it, he's more of an opportunist. He kind of waits for blockers to get engaged, and then he sneaks into them holes, able to get in the backfield. So it takes a little bit more time for the play to develop, and then he gets in there. Just simply because he doesn't have the strength to engage in those blocks. He will be thrown to the wayside by blockers, but that's not why you're gonna, or that's not why you're getting him. He's super athletic. He's great in coverage. He is what you look for in today's linebackers. You're looking for athletes. Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma, he kind of proved at the tail end, basically the second half of the season, or I guess, yeah, second half of the season, there we go, to be a bigger playmaker, and that was my big gripe with him. He's sideline to sideline athlete, but he never really did anything as a playmaker. You know, he wasn't really, caused the fumbles, making the interceptions, pass breakups. You didn't really see a lot of that, but then I don't know what happened second half of the season. Bam, turned that sucker back on, but then he kind of disappeared in the LSU game. But I don't know. I still like his athleticism. I think the best comp I could give this guy is Blake Martinez, which ain't half bad. But I won't take him in the first round. Patrick Queen, right now at number 2 for me out of LSU. Used much more in the box than an Isaiah Simmons, but he boasts a similar athleticism in my opinion. He was great in coverage. He's good at disguising blitzes. I don't think he's as good in coverage as Isaiah Simmons is, though. And speaking of the devil, or the tiger, I suppose, Isaiah Simmons, he's number 1. Everyone knows he's going to be number 1. He's probably going to be a top 10 pick. He's this new breed of linebacker with the versatility to play in the box, play on the outside, play in the back end. Makes him very, very valuable. Only real criticism I could probably give this guy is when in the middle playing zone. He could be late on intersecting routes or late to the ball. But even then, that's a minor critique. It's nothing major. It's just a bit of play recognition, something that can be taught at the next level. This guy's a monster. He's a beast. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Much appreciated. Much obliged. Got other stuff coming up on the channel, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. But until next time, my friends, you be easy. Later.